Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to a vlog, not just any vlog, but today is a very special vlog because as promised, I'm going to share with you my Michael Jackson story. So before I do that, I want to give a shout out to the Marriott Hotel in Brisbane. They have allowed us to film in this magnificent function room here. It was a last second thing. I rung them and they accommodated me. So special thanks to them so much. If you guys are looking for a function room, somewhere to hold any type of event, a boardroom like this, or maybe you're looking, and by the way, this is called the President's Room, by the way. So really special to be able to be filming this in here. If maybe you're looking for just somewhere to stay, guys, they have 5-star accommodation here. The staff are friendly. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, and they have valet parking and everything to look after you. So come down and see them if you're in Brisbane and you're looking for a really nice place to stay or hold your next function or event. So thank you guys again, Marriott. If you're watching this, thank you guys. You guys are wonderful, and much love to you. So guys, as you know, today's vlog is a very special vlog. I don't know if I'm going to call it a vlog. It's more of a story time. It's more of a kind of a mini documentary about a portion of my life. Who likes labels? I don't. So let's not even label it. Let's just get down to the story because I know you guys really want to hear about this. And shout out to Mary, by the way. Mary has sent me a couple of messages reminding me about doing this today because she really wanted to hear the story. So thank you, Mary, for the support. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to start my story with how I started music, and so then you understand how I got to this point and why Michael's influence and everything, including things that I'm about to say, some things, guys, that are unbelievable. Like, just even to me, I can't believe that these things happen. And some of these things I'm going to share with you are actually not just things that I experienced myself, but I have people who experienced it with me and can vouch for these experiences. So listen to me with open heart and open mind, because some of the stuff I'm about to tell you, yeah, it's probably going to really surprise you. So first, you guys who know me, I've been doing music since I was like 8 years old. From a professional level, meaning performing in front of a crowd of people, I've been doing that since 8 years old. From performing, singing, rapping, DJing, making music, playing the piano, the drums. I grew up doing all of that stuff, guys, at a very young age. Similar to Michael, except he did it on a much bigger scale than I did. But nevertheless, music's been a part of me since, as far as I can remember, it's just from a little kid. And I grew up in a gospel church. I grew up in a Baptist church, and I was, my family is very religious, and I was very blessed to be able to have that upbringing because it helped mold me and shape me to the person that I am today. And I am thankful that my parents enriched me with that spirituality, that religion, that the upbringing. It's really allowed me to stay on the right path, and I'm thankful for that. It also helped shape me as an entertainer because I grew up in a gospel Baptist church. That was where we was growing up in that environment. And anybody who's ever been to a gospel church, you know what it's like to be in a gospel church. Oh my gosh, the music, there's so many incredible singers. There's so many incredible musicians. And I was always surrounded by that. Now, as luck would have it, I was blessed with a natural talent to be able to play the piano and play the drums. I actually never had one single lesson. I play by ear, is what they call it. And so I play the piano, I play the drums, I sing, all those things I just learned how to do myself. I taught myself how to make music. And I remember the first time that I made my first song. When I was just a little kid, I had like a few different cassette players with cassette tapes, and I taught myself. I didn't know where this came from because I'd never seen anyone else do it. I'd never seen anyone make music, but it just made sense to me, and I kind of made my own multi-track recorder without even realizing it at that age. And I was only like 9 or 10 years old, guys. So it was an amazing thing to be able to sit there and figure it out. And I started layering tracks. I remember the first song I made. I was literally taking one cassette and making some sounds like, and I take that and I flip it over here, and then I'd be like, and then I'd make another sound, and I'd take that cassette, flip it back over, and I would keep doing that. And then maybe put some piano on it, and I had like a keyboard. I put some synthesized, sounds on it. And my mom had an organ because my mom used to play the organ and stuff as well. And so I put that organ on there, and I would just keep layering it with different tracks and the cassettes. And next thing you know, I had a whole song. And that was my first experience with making music. And again, completely self-taught, and it just made sense to me. I didn't see anyone, I don't know where that came from, but it just made sense. So I also then taught myself how to DJ. And again, I remember when I first started DJing, I didn't even have proper, turntables or anything like that. I actually had just, my parents had a record player and things. And I just started with something as simple as that. And I remember playing with that again, using my cassettes and just coming up with things with music. I was very, very creative. My gift has come, it's a gift from God. I play by ear, and it's a real blessing. And I think this whole music thing just got taken to that next level, and that desire of wanting to be not just a singer, not just a performer, but I wanted to be an entertainer. Because, like I said, a lot of artists have been inspired by one person. And that one person is Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson inspired me greatly. I remember the first time I watched the King of Pop perform, and it was absolutely breathtaking. I've never seen anyone perform on the level with just the energy and the passion that Michael displayed. And I remember thinking, man, I want to be like that. I want to be able to dance like that. I want to be able to move like that. I want to be able to entertain like that, to command the audience like that. The effect that Michael had on people was amazing. It was amazing. And I remember thinking, man, I just wish one day that I could be, that good of an entertainer. And so Michael inspired me to not just be a rapper, not just to be a singer who just was there going through the motions, but to be well-rounded. Michael was a well-rounded artist, entertainer, performer, singer, songwriter, played instruments. He was also an artist, in case you guys didn't know. He painted. And, I mean, Michael did it all. And what a great, inspiring person he was. Plus, you would hear all these wonderful things that Michael would do. He was a very giving person. He was a very charitable person. And he had a really big heart. Now, I remember thinking to myself that one day, somehow, some way, I was going to perform in front of big crowds of people. I didn't know anything because I never had proper training by anyone. But somehow it all came natural to me. Just natural. Now, in addition to my music and all those things, I have a background in dance. And so I became a really good dancer. And I had a crew at one stage that I was dancing with. And so I was a street dancer, do a lot of, all the hip hop stuff. You guys already know. If you know, maybe you don't know. I take that back because I do know. I apologize to you guys who actually watching me for the first time or you don't know my history, my music background. But yes, dance was a big part of my opportunities, let's just say, came from dance. Doors opened because of dance. And let me tell you how I got to where I got to. Let's move forward a bit quicker because I know you guys want to hear a lot about the Michael stuff, and here we go. So I was on a show, and it was a dance show. It was a weekly dance show. And there was this really cool dude named Willie. Shout out to you, Willie, if you happen to see this, who was also a dancer. He's the one who was responsible for getting us on this TV show. And so he was connected. By the way, guys, this is in Japan. I went to high school in Japan, and I do, yes, speak fluent Japanese as a result of my time living in Japan. But, so I was on this Japanese TV show dancing. And Willie says to me, he goes, "Hey, do you know anyone that can rap?" And I said, "Hey man, that's me. I can rap. That's what I do." And so he said, cool. Okay, well look, there's an opportunity. These cats are looking for someone to rap on a track. He gave me the address. I went to the studio and I ended up blowing them away. Now, at first, I did not think I was going to blow them away because the particular song that they wanted me to sing to was a crazy techno dance rave Japanese crazy like crazy track. And until that point in time, I actually didn't even know that I could rap to that because to me rap was hip hop. Rap was a hip hop thing. It wasn't. It was rapping to that kind of not like So anyways, they told me, I remember walking in there and they're going, "Okay, here's the song." And they put that song on and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? And I took a leap of faith, which, you have to do. I was like, what's the worst that could happen? And so I just went for it and I ended up blowing them away. And they offered me a recording contract with Lika. You say his name in Japanese, it's like Rika. I don't know. I'm a little bit rusty, but Rika, I think it's how you say it. Anyways, he was the guy who produced the music at that time for the group that I ended up becoming part of. It was 3 of us, and we became a signed group on Sony Records. Now, this is important because if you guys know, Michael Jackson was signed to Sony Records. So Michael came to Japan to perform. And again, doors opened because now that I'm a Sony artist, what do you think I wanted more than anything? I wanted to see Michael Jackson perform. And so luck would have it, Michael was coming to Japan, and I, being a Sony artist, was able to see Michael in the front. Okay, I had the best seats in the house. Up close, seeing Michael Jackson perform, guys, was an absolute amazing opportunity by itself. But the other cool thing is, obviously, yes, guess who got to meet Michael Jackson? Me. I met Michael Jackson, okay? And let me tell you something. The only way to describe this is that it's like if you ever imagine what it would be like to talk to an angel. That's what it was like talking to Michael Jackson. His voice was so soft and so just captivating is the word I want to use. And he was so absolutely sweet, gentle, beautiful, like kind. The most amazing experience. Like I can't even tell you, he didn't even seem like he was from this planet. He seemed like he was just heavenly. That's the only word I can explain. He was beautiful. His energy, his aura, everything about him was absolutely amazing. Obviously one of the high points of my life. But there's a few, so bear with me. Because when Michael was performing, he was doing his Billie Jean. Now, I usually like to do this part standing up, but because the camera is set and I don't have anyone to move it, I can't do it. But guys, he was doing his Billie Jean. Not Billie Jean, not my love. You know, he was doing his Billie Jean performing, and he spun around and he threw his hat. Guys, now, I was, again, perfect seats. He spun around, he threw his hat, and I had Michael Jackson's hat in my hand. I had Michael Jackson's hat in my hand. Here's the problem. This is where it gets stupid. I had Michael Jackson's hat in my hand. All these Japanese fans are going crazy, obviously. Everyone's jumping, reaching for the hat. I'm shocked that the hat is in my hand in the first place. Anyways, the hat falls out of my hand. Because everyone's going nuts for the hat. Now, here's where I made the biggest mistake of my entire life. The worst judgment call that I could have ever made. And to this day, I regret it. I actually was with my management company. I was with my manager. I was with the record label people. And I had to act cool. You see what I'm saying? In my head, I thought I had to act cool because I was a signed artist to the label, and so I had to act cool. You know, I couldn't seem like a groupie or a fan. So when I had the hat in my hand, I had to kind of be like, it's just Michael Jackson. You know, that kind of like, it's not a big deal. It's just Michael Jackson's hat. So I'm sitting there trying to act a certain way that I think I need to act because I'm with these record label people, my management, and inside this voice is going, "What you doing, fool? Get the hat! Get the hat!" And I just freaking can't believe to this day that I wasn't fighting for that hat alongside with all those other fans. And to this day, I regret it. And if I knew Michael was going to die, I would have fought harder for the hat for sure. But yeah, it's funny how you think you're supposed to act just because you're with certain people. You change how you know what I mean? To this day, worst thing that I could have ever did. So now, anyways, that happened, and we're moving forward past that experience. So I'm going to tell you guys now some other things of my connection with Michael. Now this is where a lot of this stuff is starting to become, it's going to become a really surreal, as probably the word to describe it, because a lot of things happen that to this day I'm like blown away by. So the first thing I want to tell you is, this will come as a surprise to you. A month before Michael died, I knew he was going to die. I don't know how I knew he was going to die, but I knew he was going to die. I said to actually one of my friends, I said, you know, Michael's going to die very soon. And I don't know where that came from. I don't know why I thought that. It was a very weird thing to think at the time, especially considering Michael at the time was in perfect health. No one knew. It was the last thing you would think is Michael was going to die. Like, I always had thought of Michael as being invincible. Like, you know what I mean? He always had that type of energy that he put out. And he even said he was invincible, so I believe that. But never thought he was going to die until that moment when I said it. So I said he was going to die, and sure enough, 4 weeks later, Michael died. Now, is that a coincidence? I don't think so, because let me tell you, a lot of other things have happened to put this all in perspective for me. You know, there's a lot of bits of this, and I don't want, they're probably going to be taken out of order because there's some things I don't want to forget. I'm trying to remember a lot of these things, but bear with me. Okay, so that's pretty crazy to me that I knew he was going to die. That's, you know, if that was just a one-off thing, then you'd go, okay, yeah, well, it could happen. You just thought it happened, you know, coincidence. Okay, but here we go. Here's some more things that happened. So Michael also, okay, let me start from the beginning of that one because I was just about to blurt it out. So I was one day walking down the street and just random, really random. And just so you know, now you need to know this as well. Now, I actually, because I love Michael and I really have always loved his music, every once in a while on my shows, I would perform in my set one or two Michael songs. And one of the most famous songs that a lot of you know, you've heard me sing it in my shows, is You're Not Alone. And it's one of my favorite Michael songs to sing. And when I sing it, it brings people to tears. That's just what happens. 9 times out of 10, it would bring people to tears. And people would have a very emotional experience when I sing that song to them. A lot of people have always said that I sound like Michael Jackson when I'm singing. And the thing is that I've never intentionally have tried to sound like Michael when I sing. I just sing how I sing. And it so happens that apparently I sound like Michael Jackson. Now, I don't think that myself, but I can see why people think that, because to me, I just sound like me. I'm just trying to be me, but I can see why people think that. There's certain tonalities that are very similar, and just, I guess, the way that we sing certain things, sometimes it comes across sounding very similar to Michael. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes when I'm being comedic and I'm singing a Michael song and I'm intentionally doing the you know, that kind of thing just for fun, then yeah, I'm trying to sound like Michael when I'm doing it. But I'm singing in my voice, but then I'll just add a couple of those and then suddenly I sound like Michael Jackson. But everyone's always said I sound like Michael, which is a compliment, so I'm flattered. I take that as a high compliment because Michael, to me, was the greatest entertainer who's ever graced this planet. And I think a lot of you out there agree with me. So anyways, now that we know that I perform his songs and stuff like that, and you know that we had this one experience already where I predicted he was going to die soon, the next thing that happened was, so I was walking down the street, just random, and this lady comes up to me. This is after Michael had died. And she didn't know me. She didn't know that I performed Michael's songs. She knew nothing whatsoever about me. She happened to be a psychic of some sorts. And she said to me that, hey, I just needed to tell you something really quick. Michael is your guardian. He's a guardian right now. He's around you. I can see him. That's what she said to me. Just random lady off the street said that to me. Now, that's the crazy thing to hear someone just randomly say, especially when someone like Michael is someone that you hold in high regard, that you love. He's, you know, super inspirational figure in your life. To hear someone say that, especially, again, going back to me knowing that he was going to die, that's crazy, right? Like, right? But you see a connection, because I knew he was going to die. Maybe because he was, you know, I don't know, like, I didn't even want to say this stuff because I know it's like, wow. And some of you out there will be like, it's fine. Like, yeah, that stuff happens. And some of you are going to think it's insane. And I personally, when I listen back to some of these things that happened, I'm speechless myself, but these are things that happen. So they're just facts. This is what's happened. So anyways, I thought, wow, what an amazing thing to be told. And okay, I continued doing what I do. So we was having rehearsals for a show, okay? And we was in the venue rehearsing, and everything was fine. Music was playing fine. Everything was great, doing the rehearsals. And suddenly, when I got to Michael Jackson's song and started rehearsing, there was feedback, white noise, static coming through the speakers. Now, the rest of the time that I was performing all the other songs, there wasn't any white noise, there wasn't any problems, there wasn't anything funny going on. The mics wasn't acting up or anything. But when I got to Michael's song, white noise, mic issues, things just gone crazy, right? But there was like white noise coming through the speaker, like, okay, someone trying to speak through the speaker or something? You see where I'm going with this? Anyways, I was surrounded by a few different people during the rehearsal, so I'm not the only one who experienced and saw this. This is all verifiable stuff. Okay, so again, another experience, right? Okay, another experience that happened was Michael came to me in a dream, okay? And Michael said to me in a dream, thank you for keeping my spirit alive. Thank you for keeping my dream alive, actually, to be exact. Because I was continuing to sing. At the time, every time I was performing, I was always singing Michael's songs. And you know, I think there was definitely some sort of connection happening there. And Michael, again, in that dream, he came to me. All right, sorry guys, someone earlier opened the door, and so I just, yeah, I might beat this out, I don't know. Anyways, if it seems like it's suddenly just didn't start it again, yeah, someone opened the door. So, anyways guys, so, yeah, that, again, is something amazing, right? For Michael to come to you in a dream. Now, when I say it was a dream, it felt like I was not dreaming, but it was a dream. I mean, it had to be a dream, right? And I actually don't remember exactly everything else that was kind of said during that time. It's been a while since I've actually have told the story and talked about any of this stuff to anybody. There was a period of time where I was telling everyone, and my light went out. Yeah. That's a brand new battery. See guys, I haven't talked about any of this for a long time. There was a period of time where I was talking about this all the time to lots of different people. I would share my Michael Jackson stories and stuff. They wanted to hear them. They wanted to hear me sing and perform and all these different things. because everyone would say I sounded like Michael and all this kind of stuff, and it brought a lot of joy and emotions to a lot of people. I can't believe that light just went out. Okay. So that happened. So the dreams. So then the next things that happened, so I was, me and my girlfriend at the time, she was also a holistic practitioner and things, and she was putting on a seminar. This was actually in Brisbane at Mount Cootha. They have a conference room there, and I was asked, or was I asked? I don't know if I was. Yeah, I was asked. They wanted me to sing "You Are Not Alone," which a lot of people want me to sing. I don't even think it was specifically requested. I'm pretty sure it was "You Are Not Alone" was requested. Again, this is a few years back now, so I just remember that I sang "You Are Not Alone," and they had asked me to sing at this thing. Now, I love to obviously sing and perform, so yes, I was like, yeah, absolutely, I wanted to sing and perform. I look forward to it. So basically, it's this amazing room at the top of Mount Cootha. Maybe some of you have been there. And I start singing "You Are Not Alone." And so what happened is, while I was singing the song, so people were getting emotional. There were some people who were starting to tear and get emotions and things. And there was apparently, this is what I was told, and I guess I can kind of remember it kind of like happening, but it was a real warmth. Okay, there was a bright light. The sun was, it's obviously sunlight, but it was shining bright suddenly through the window, like really bright. Suddenly, while I was singing this song, and the light was around me, okay? And the way that it was explained to me, from not just one of the people that were there, not just two, not just three, but a few people said that they saw Michael around me. They said they saw Michael. It was like I was channeling Michael or something. They saw Michael. It was as if Michael was singing through me at that point in time or something like that. Again, I don't remember exact words used, but basically they were saying that Michael was around me, that I was channeling him, or he was singing through me, or Michael was there, and they could see it. And they looked, and they saw Michael. So I was singing, but they said that they saw Michael when they saw me singing. They literally saw Michael. That's what they said to me. Now, that's a pretty huge thing to tell someone, right? But again, you add all of these things up together. And you got to, at some stage, go, okay, this can't be just coincidences, because just after a while, it starts, to think it's a coincidence seems a bit crazy. Which, believing this stuff, that it's something more than that, can also seem a bit crazy. But it actually, I don't even know what to say. It's what happened. These things happen. And so I guess to me, and guys, me sharing this with you all, and I mean, I'm sharing this actually with the world. So I mean, this is on YouTube. It's going to be everywhere. Everyone's going to see this. So, I don't know, obviously the last thing I'd ever want is for anyone to think I was crazy or insane. So me sharing this, obviously, I want you to know that I'm sharing this because this is what I experienced and these things happened. And to me, they're huge things, they're significant things. And I mean, obviously, they're even more significant to me just because, like I said, I love Michael Jackson. He has been a huge inspiration in my life. Now, a few weeks back, when these Michael Jackson accusations started surfacing again, I made a text message, and it was crazy, right? Because I was reacting in that moment, and I said, things about R. Kelly and Michael and Justin Smollett and OJ and Bill Cosby and all these things. How I was in my. If you guys want to read that text, that message is still on my Facebook. But I was basically, just kind of stressed and upset, about hearing how these people who have a lot of them I've looked up to, especially Michael, obviously, R. Kelly, like these are all our icons, These are all our icons growing up, big name people that a lot of us loved. And I was really upset, disappointed, upset. I don't know which word to use, but it really upset me that to hear these things. And that so many of us fight so hard to achieve what they've accomplished, the level of success they've had. And it's just so sad and disheartening to hear that they've done those things, allegedly. Anyways, I had to think about it, and I was talking to Dan. You guys know Dan Marsky, who's my bro. And I've just been thinking, ever since hearing those things, again, just accusations, which you guys know, Michael has always had these type of people accusing him of things or calling him a freak or calling him all these different things because he had a monkey or he slept in a freaking air chamber, a bubble, whatever, all these different things that people said over the years. He had elephant man's bones and blah, blah, blah. And so he's always had a lot of these accusations thrown his way and stuff. And, I started thinking about it, and I actually started thinking, what do I believe? What do I really, truly believe? Not listening to and reacting to what other people are saying, but what do I believe in my heart? And based on my experiences and my connection that I share with Michael, because there is definitely a connection. I don't know what that connection, how to explain it. It defies logic, but there's definitely a connection. I started thinking maybe it's some type of soul connection, maybe how souls work, maybe we were cut from the same soul part or something, made from the same, well, obviously we're all made from the same source, but I don't know, maybe there's some type of energy connection thing, We're connected. A lot of us souls are connected. And I don't know how to explain it because, again, all of it, it's pretty surreal. And, there's probably some other stories that I fail to remember right now. Because I haven't really talked about this stuff in a long time. If I've forgotten something, I'll let you guys know in a future vlog or something, a future video, a follow-up video. This is probably like an hour long now or something, or going on an hour. So anyways, I came to the conclusion that I believe that Michael's innocent. I don't believe that he's done these things because the Michael that I know, the Michael that I've seen, the Michael that I connect with and that I have connected with, he could not do those things. My thoughts is that Michael was someone who never had a childhood, who was kind of, in a sense, robbed of his childhood because since day one he had to perform at an adult level and do very adult things. And I believe that Michael actually, he just was a big kid, you know? And I think he was misunderstood as a result. I don't think that he ever did anything that was inappropriate. I believe he's 100% innocent. And it's sad, actually, because half of the world believe his innocence, half doesn't. Some people are undecided. And I think it's sad because all of this crap takes away from all of the amazing bodies of work and talent that this guy left us, and that he, you know, he worked harder than freaking most people. He inspired so many artists. You know, like I said, you know, he's inspired me, Jason Derulo, Justin Timberlake, Chris Brown, freaking so many artists, Usher, so many artists that he inspired, so many artists. So many amazing things, contributions, and positive things he gave this planet and many people as he walked this earth. So, again, at the end of the day, hey, everyone is entitled to their opinions. And I came to the conclusion that I believe that Michael, that he is innocent of these accusations. So that's my opinion, and that's what I'm going to stick with. So anyways, enough of talking about that. I really just wanted to talk about my Michael Jackson story, but it's kind of hard not to talk about that now in lieu of these new accusations. And the thing is, I was kind of like, should I tell my story now? You know, because of this, like, maybe I shouldn't tell my story. And then I thought, you know what? No, maybe now is a good time to tell my story, because maybe, just maybe, my story will touch others, and maybe you will actually believe or see things differently. Maybe you'll see things differently. I don't know. But anyways, me personally, I just want to say thank you to Michael Jackson for inspiring me and for inspiring so many artists on this planet, for inspiring so many people, for giving your gift of music to all of us. Your philanthropy, I can't even say that word right. Philanthropy, forget it. You guys know what I mean. Philanthropist. That sounds right. He was a philanthropist. Certain words, you just don't use them enough, and then suddenly you say it, and then it comes out really wrong. Anyways, he was a giving person, and I want to thank Michael. I want to thank his family. I want to wish them all the best through these hard times, and I hope that they all are doing okay through this. So I send you all love. And yeah, oh my gosh, guys. I used to perform, you know, I'm not, like, if I sing here, my eyes start watering up. They're starting to water up, and I'm trying my best to avoid that. I don't want to get that level of emotions, but it's kind of hard not to, because I hadn't thought about this stuff for a while. Like, I really hadn't really thought about it until I decided I was going to share the story, you know, and start thinking back to a lot of these things that had happened. And then it's kind of sad, because I stopped doing my music for a while, for a long while, like longer than I planned. And yeah, I kind Kind of sucks, huh? Because it's like, did I let Michael down? Am I letting you down, Michael? He said, thank you for keeping my dream alive. I don't know. I'm not really performing these days much anymore at the moment, but I'm getting back into it. I'm going to hit it hardcore. And I'm going to get back out there. And I'm going to still include a Michael song or two in my sets. Because this is a big question a lot of people have been asking lately is, can you separate the artist from the art or something, you know? In this case, the music from the man. Because again, there's lots of people who have varied opinions about MJ at the moment. I think no one on the planet can deny his talent and his it's just really overwhelming, huh? I could swear I could hear Michael saying that he didn't do it, that he's innocent. I know that he didn't. It's like, thank you for believing in me. Anyways, everyone is entitled to their own opinions. And I'm just thankful that I've been given the opportunity in my life to be able to perform and to be able to inspire a lot of people. I'm going to share one quick story of my own, just quickly, and then I'm going to end this vlog. But the best performance I ever had in my entire life, and some of you old school people who've heard me perform before have probably heard this story. Oh, you've actually probably heard a lot of these stories, some of you. But the best performance I had was, we did a show, and you know, the show was like supposed to be canceled, and it wasn't, you know, last minute cancellation type of thing. And you know, when you last second cancel something, not everyone finds out. And you know, I was determined to still perform regardless. Like, I don't care if I'm the only one there. I want to do this show. It was that type of situation. So anyways, I ended up performing. You know, the show went on. And this particular show, it was so empty in the audience. Like, I could literally see out in the alley. Like, you know, usually when I have big shows, I've had big shows where I'm performing in front of 50,000 people plus, like big shows. And this was like this space where normally when you have big shows, it's hard to, you know, it's kind of like a sea of people. They just kind of blending together, you know. But this day, I could literally see the individual people's faces. And this one girl was crying when I was performing. And she looked really upset and was just really emotional, you know. And so at the end of the show, I had the opportunity. I asked my manager if they could bring her to me. And I spoke to this girl. And I said, why are you crying? I noticed during the show, it was very easy to notice. No one's in here. But you were emotional and you were crying. And you looked upset, like, what's wrong? Are you okay? She started telling me that she had the most horrible week from hell. Like, you know, someone in her family had died. She had lost her job. Like, anything that could have went wrong for this girl that week, it happened. So you would think that's why she was crying. She was just having, you know, just upset about everything that was happening. But what she said really surprised me. She said, the reason I was crying and upset was because while you were performing, I actually felt like everything was going to be okay. So my perception, I thought she was crying because she was sad or upset, but she was actually crying tears of joy. She was letting it all out because she knew that everything was going to be okay. And I inspired her during my performance to believe that, to feel that, to know that. And to me, underneath every single thing, that's what it's all about. The power to be able to impact people's lives, to make change, to create change, positive change in people's lives. And that's a blessing. And that's what music has the power of doing. And that's what Michael, his music had the power of doing. Songs like Heal the World, Make It a Better Place, stuff like that. So many songs that he had where the message was really positive. So to know that I had that kind of ability to have that type of impact on someone, to hear someone actually say it, was a really beautiful thing. And I feel blessed. I've been blessed to perform and do a lot of things that a lot of people only dream about. And I'm not going to keep on talking about it because, guys, this vlog could go on forever then. But maybe in future vlogs, I'll tell more about my stories and performances and different things that I've been blessed to experience. But anyways, I'm going to bring this one to a close. And I want to thank you guys for watching. And again, I hope that you've watched with an open mind and open heart. And just know that I'm just speaking my truth. This is my opinions about how I feel about Michael, speaking my truth and my experiences, speaking my story about what's happened in my life. And yeah, I hope that it's inspired or touched someone out there in a good way. And thank you guys for the support. I appreciate it. As you guys have seen, I'm starting to really get back into my music and things again. Just put out a new music video today. If you haven't watched it yet, go and check it out on my Chosen Effect channel. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, share, all that kind of stuff. And remember, as I always say, live each moment to the fullest. I love you guys.